Let me ask you something. What if you're just 6 small daily decisions away from transforming your entire life? Not someday, not next year. I'm talking about today, right now, because here's the truth. Greatness is not reserved for the few. It's not a matter of luck, talent, or destiny. It's a daily choice, a rhythm, a standard you hold yourself to when no one's watching. Most people walk through life reacting, surviving, drifting. But the people who rise, the ones who become undeniable, they've built greatness into the fabric of their day. This isn't hype, it's not theory, it's real. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 6 daily actions that, if you live them, will absolutely change your energy, your focus, your results, and your future. But I have to warn you, it's simple, not easy. Because simple things are easy to ignore. But greatness doesn't ignore the small things, it's built on them. So if you're ready to stop waiting, stop wishing, and start living the way you were meant to, stay with me. You're about to get the roadmap. Let's talk about the first shift. It's one that most people overlook, but it's foundational. If you don't get this one right, the rest won't stick. I'm talking about how you start your day. Because hear me, you don't get to greatness by waking up like a victim. You don't rise by hitting snooze 5 times, grabbing your phone, scrolling through someone else's highlight reel, and then stumbling into your day already behind. That's how average people live. That's how you stay stuck. Greatness starts when you take control of your morning, when you show up on purpose before the world throws its chaos at you. Let me give it to you. Straight, the morning isn't just the beginning of your day, it's the training ground for your mindset. It's where you condition your emotions, your physiology, your beliefs. It's where you decide, am I going to lead my life today, or am I going to be led by it? You need a morning ritual, not a routine, not something robotic. I'm talking about a ritual that lights a fire inside of you, something that wakes up your body, primes your emotions, and focuses your mind like a laser, because your state, your emotional state, drives everything. Every decision, every reaction, every behavior. If you want different outcomes, you have to start by changing your state. And the best time to do that? Before the world touches you. Before the emails, the texts, the bills, the deadlines. You've got to create you before the world tells you who to be. When I wake up, I don't check my phone. I don't plug into the noise. I plug into power. I get into movement. I breathe with intention. I put myself in a peak state. You want to shift your energy? Change your breathing. Change your focus. Change your movement. I do something called priming every single morning. It's not magic. It's not wishful thinking. It's science. I get oxygen in my body. I focus on 3 things I'm deeply grateful for, because gratitude destroys fear. I visualize what I'm committed to creating that day. Now, what I hope to do, what I've decided will happen. You think champions walk into the day wondering how it's going to go? No. They walk in already committed, already grounded, already certain. That certainty doesn't come from luck. It's built. It's generated. And it starts in the morning. Now, does that mean you need a 2-hour morning routine to change your life? No. You need intention. You need to train your mind like you train your body. 5 minutes done with intensity and purpose will do more for your life than an hour of going through the motions. Let me ask you, what would change in your life if you started every morning in a state of power? If you didn't just wake up physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, what would shift in your energy, your confidence, your decisions? Because here's the truth, you can't live a peak life from a low state. You can't be extraordinary on autopilot. You've got to plug into something deeper, something stronger. And that starts before the world has a chance to take the wheel. You need to build a morning that reminds you who you are, that reminds you what you're capable of. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your rituals. And when your morning ritual is locked in, every part of your life gets better. Your business, your body, your relationships, your mindset. It's not about perfection. It's about direction. You're either creating momentum or you're losing it. And momentum doesn't start with a breakthrough. It starts with a decision, one morning at a time. If you want a great life, build great days. And great days begin with how you show up before the world ever sees you. Let's move to the second daily action. And this one's sneaky because it doesn't feel urgent. It's not loud. It doesn't punch you in the face. But over time, it can either shape you into a leader or slowly eat away at your potential. You've got to feed your mind with power, not poison. Most people don't even realize it, but they're feeding their mind junk all day long. Just like your body responds to what you eat, your mind responds to what you consume. Every podcast, every conversation, every article you scroll, every show you binge, every voice you let into your head, and here's the truth. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant there, it's going to grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, scarcity, and comparison, guess what you're going to feel? You're going to hesitate. You're going to shrink. You're going to start believing that where you are now is all there is. But if you plant belief, if you plant strength, clarity, abundance, you water your mind with new ideas, powerful truths, elevated thinking, you don't just feel different, you become different. And I'm not talking about motivational fluff. I'm talking about rewiring your brain with intention. Every single day, you are either programming your mind or it's being programmed by everything around you. You have to become the guardian of your mind. Because greatness isn't just about what you do, it's about how you think. It's about how you see yourself, what you expect from life, what you believe you deserve. And none of that happens by accident. So you've got to build a daily habit of feeding yourself something that raises your standard, that expands your thinking, that strengthens your emotional muscles. Every day I read. Every day I listen to something that stretches me, something that reminds me of who I am and where I'm going. I'm not doing it to get hyped. I'm doing it to get aligned because life will knock you off course. People will dump their limitations on you. The media will flood you with fear. And if you're not intentionally building your mental armor, guess what? You absorb it, you carry it, and it becomes your story. You ever meet someone who just radiates strength and clarity and peace? That's not luck. That's daily input. That's someone who has trained their mind to stay powerful no matter what's going on around them. Let me ask you something. What are you feeding your mind first thing in the morning? Before you check your phone, before you step out the door, what thoughts are you choosing? Because if you don't choose them, the world will choose them for you. You've got to program your mind like you're building a masterpiece because that's exactly what your life is. Start simple. 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes of a book that inspires you, 10 minutes of a podcast that challenges you, 10 minutes of reviewing your goals, visualizing them, speaking them out loud. That alone can shift your trajectory because here's what happens. When you feed your mind powerfully, you start making decisions from a place of strength. You start seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. You start showing up with certainty instead of hesitation. And then something incredible happens. You begin to attract different conversations, different people, different possibilities, not because the world changed, but because you changed. You raised your frequency. You elevated your mindset, and people feel that. You want to know the fastest way to change your identity? Change what you consume. Your future is hidden in your daily inputs. And if you're not intentional about them, you're drifting. The most dangerous poison is the kind that tastes sweet in the moment, but rots you over time. Social media overload, endless news cycles, conversations with people who constantly complain. That stuff might feel normal, even entertaining, but it steals your focus. It robs your clarity. So take inventory. Ask yourself, what am I letting into my mind that's keeping me small, and what could I feed it instead, starting today, that would help me rise? You have greatness in you, but that greatness needs fuel. It needs nourishment. And when you feed your mind with truth, wisdom, and vision, you don't just think better. You live better because a powerful life begins with a powerful mind. Now let's talk about the third action that is critical to your path to greatness. This one is all about taking bold, imperfect action. You see, most people think they need to have all the answers, all the resources, and all the plans perfectly mapped out before they take any real action. But here's the truth. Clarity comes from engagement, not from thinking. I know some of you right now, you're sitting on ideas, dreams, and goals, and you're waiting for that perfect moment to strike. You're waiting for the conditions to align. Maybe the money will show up, or the timing will be right, or you'll feel more confident. You think that when the pieces fall into place, then you'll take the leap. But let me tell you, you'll be waiting forever if you wait for everything to be perfect. Greatness isn't created in the comfort zone. It's not created in the perfect conditions. It's created in the chaos of imperfect action. The truth is, you'll never have all the answers. You'll never have everything figured out. But what you do have is a choice. You can either sit back and wait for clarity, or you can create it by doing something, anything, that gets you moving toward your goal. Taking action, even when it's messy and imperfect, is what moves you forward. Imagine how wonderful it would feel to have no more fear to take that first step. You just need the courage to step forward, no matter how unsure you feel. The first step leads to the next one, and the next one leads to the next. That's how you build momentum, but it all starts with getting into motion. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but what if I mess up? What if I fail? And I'm going to tell you something right now. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is a part of the journey. It's how you learn. It's how you grow. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. If you're not failing, it means you're playing too small, too safe, and too scared to go after what you really want. You're not going to win every single time, but every time you fail, you're getting closer. Every time you get knocked down, you learn something that helps you stand up stronger. Every time you stumble, you get clear about what works and what doesn't. So if you're not failing, if you're not getting back up after each setback, you're not really growing. And if you're not growing, you're just existing. The key is to shift your focus. Instead of thinking about how you might fail, start thinking about how much you will learn, how much you will grow, and how much closer you'll get to your ultimate goal by just taking that step. Whether you win or lose, you're always advancing if you're moving forward. Think about the most successful people you admire. They didn't sit back and wait for everything to align perfectly. They moved. They made mistakes. They learned from them. They adjusted, and they kept going. It's the same for you. So you have to be willing to take imperfect action, trust the process, and know that the path will unfold as you continue to engage with it. Some of you have been standing still for too long, overthinking, waiting for a sign or a guarantee before you move. But here's the thing. There's no guarantee. You just have to make the decision to start. Take that imperfect step forward. Even if it feels like you don't have all the pieces. Even if it feels like you don't know what's coming next. You don't need certainty, you just need action. Remember, the people who are changing the world, the ones who are truly creating something extraordinary, are not the ones who are sitting in the wings waiting for the perfect conditions. They are the ones who are jumping in, taking action, and figuring things out as they go. They don't wait for clarity, they create it. They don't wait for the perfect opportunity, they make it. And that's what you need to do too. Take the leap, even if you don't have the full map. Because the map won't come to you until you take that first step. So what's your first step going to be? What are you going to do today that might be messy, but will get you one step closer to your dream? It doesn't matter how small it is. What matters is that you take the action. The more action you take, the clearer your path will become. But you'll never see the path if you don't start moving. Now, let's talk about the fourth key action that will fuel your greatness. This one is often overlooked, but it's one of the most powerful habits you can develop. And it's something I'm incredibly passionate about. It's the habit of reflection, celebration, and resetting. We live in a world where everything moves fast, where we're always on the go, checking off the next thing, rushing from one task to the next. And because of that, we rarely take the time to pause and reflect. We're so caught up in the grind that we forget to actually look at how far we've come, what we've learned, and what we still need to do. But if you're serious about greatness, if you're committed to creating something extraordinary, you've got to build the habit of checking in with yourself every single day. When the day ends, you've got two choices. You can just roll into bed exhausted, hoping that tomorrow will be better, or you can take the time to reflect and reset, to look at what you accomplished and what still needs to shift. And it doesn't matter how busy you are, this step is non-negotiable, because without reflection, you miss the opportunity to grow, to fine-tune your approach, and to prepare yourself for even greater success. I'm not talking about overanalyzing every detail or beating yourself up for what went wrong. Reflection is not about guilt, it's about learning. It's about understanding where you showed up powerfully and where you could have shown up better. Because when you take a moment to review your day, you give yourself the chance to truly internalize your progress and identify the lessons in your challenges. That's how you move forward. By learning from the small wins and the bigger struggles, but reflection alone isn't enough. You need to celebrate. That's right, I said celebrate. And I know what you might be thinking. What's there to celebrate? The day was hard. There were setbacks. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. But here's the thing. You can't build momentum without acknowledging your progress, no matter how small it seems. Every single step you take is progress. Every single effort you make is a win. And if you don't take the time to celebrate those wins, you're missing out on the fuel that will keep you going. You might think it's too trivial to celebrate finishing a task or overcoming a small obstacle, but that's the problem. You're too focused on the big picture, the end result. And because of that, you're robbing yourself of the power of the journey. Momentum is built one small win at a time, and you'll never experience the power of it if you don't pause and honor your efforts. So what do you celebrate? Every single time you show up with courage, when you take action, when you learn something new, when you push past fear, when you keep going even when it feels hard. Celebrate that. That's the fuel you need to keep moving forward. Then, after celebration, comes the reset. Every night, before you close your eyes, ask yourself, what worked today? What didn't? What will I do differently tomorrow? And the reset isn't about beating yourself up for what didn't go right. It's about shifting your mindset and deciding that tomorrow will be better. You get to choose how you show up tomorrow. You get to decide that you will take all of the lessons from today and blind them in an even more powerful way. And here's what happens when you commit to this habit. Every single day, no matter how difficult it is, you are getting better. Every day, you're evolving. You're learning to take responsibility for your life, your actions, and your outcomes. You're no longer drifting through the day. You are deliberately creating the person you want to become. You're rewiring your brain, building new habits, and creating a new standard for yourself. You see, greatness isn't something that happens in one giant leap. It's a series of small, intentional actions that compound over time. And when you reflect, celebrate, and reset, you ensure that you're constantly moving forward. You're aligning yourself with the person you need to be to achieve the success you're after. So when you get to the end of your day, ask yourself, what can I learn from today? What am I proud of? And then give yourself permission to feel that pride. And when tomorrow comes, approach it with fresh energy, new clarity, and a renewed commitment to your goals. That's how you build unshakable momentum. That's how you rise above the noise. That's how you create a life of true greatness.